Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit and welcome to another Battle Cats beginner account Let's Play Bonanza. It's been ages since the last one, which was ages since the one before that, but I've heard that some of you at least find something out of them and find them as useful, which is very gratifying. I appreciate that very much because I am rather the spoon, the can't do it of the Battle Cats community, but when it comes to early game, that's one thing that I think I've learned a lot about and can actually give advice on. So we're back for another episode. It's still going to carry on. Don't know how often the episodes are going to be. But before I bore you all, going to get into what we're going to be talking about this episode of it. So you may see that a lot's changed. For a start, I believe at least, missions has been introduced since you last saw one of these. And basically what it is a system of doing different things in the Battle Cats to get cat food rewards. Now if you want to find out more about them, I'll put a little eye thing to the video where I looked at them when they were introduced back in update 6.2. So if you want to have a look at that, please do. And also, I have a lot of cat capsules. They've been gathered from logging in a lot, and I'm keeping them for a good reason, which I'll explain to you later when we get to the end of the current chapter that we're on. So today, we're going to be looking at something rather special. It is your first Legend Cat. Legends are very useful cats in the Battle Cats. They are essentially like uber rare cats, but they're no gacha. They don't come from a rare cat capsule, which is very useful for you doing tutorial type things, because everybody is going to be able to have it after they have completed Empire of Cats Chapter 2 in this case. So these legends inhabit special cats, and they're at the end of the row in each one. So if we scroll along to here, we'll find that our legend here is Valkyrie Cat, descended from the fields of Valhalla to provide salvation for the Battle Cats. Uses the heavenly spear Mjolnir. So this is your first legend, ordinarily. Theoretically, you could get a different one, a Ruin Cat first, but that would be very unlikely. This is usually the first legend that you'll get. And it's a behemoth compared to what we've got at the moment. So this cat costs 3,000 monies, and it's got a big stick. That's the heavenly spear Mjolnir, and it just hits enemies with it. And unlike a lot of the cats we have, it does quite a lot of damage. And because it's expensive, although health isn't its main aspect, relatively it's got a decent amount of health. So this is our first big expensive cat that we're going to want to really protect with meat shielding. Before, what we had was protecting maybe, for example, bird cats or dragon cats by meat shielding. They did quite a lot of damage, but this is a different thing entirely. This is a cat that you really want to protect. So upgrading it is well worth it, and I've got a lot of XP from just gathering treasure. So now it is true Valkyrie Cat, changed to her final form, which isn't true, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Trouble because Cat God keeps hitting on her. Can I keep my ad revenue, please? So this isn't the final form, but it's the final form that we can get it to for a while. Its third form, true form, Holy Valkyrie Cat, can actually occasionally freeze enemies. Not insanely reliable, and actually, when you get into late game, not used much, but at the moment, Valkyrie's very useful. It drops off in usefulness the further on you go, but at the moment it's very useful, and we're not going to get the final form until we've completed Into the Future Chapter 2. So that's going to be quite a while away. We have started Into the Future, but we're not at that sort of stage yet. So with my XP, I could get it to level 14. Fair enough. Obviously, you want to get it as high level as you can. At the moment, level 20, but that level cap will increase before long. So, now it is time to put it in one of my armies. It doesn't really matter what I replace, but I've found that burrow cats haven't been incredibly useful, so I'm going to replace them, and I'm just going to put Valkyrie at the end of my slot. You can, of course, do what you want, but ideally you want cats that you're going to be using more on the top row, and then flip to longer recharge time cats on the second row, just so you have them all nicely arranged. Now, when you get into cat combos and stuff, as you can see down the bottom later on, you're putting cats together, that sort of changes, but usually what I like to do is the more expensive it gets generally, the lower down you put it and the further along. So there are my more expensive ones in the second row, along with True Valkyrie Cat, because like most Ubers, it has a very long recharge time, a lot longer than any of the other cats. This is the sort of cat that ordinarily you can only usually have one of per battle, maybe two if it's a long battle, and I don't think I've ever really used 3 Valkyrie Cats in one battle, but it's a cat that you're not going to have much of on the battlefield. But when you do have her, it's very important to protect her because she can do a lot of damage. Now, I've got a bit of Into the Future to be doing because I've given up a little bit on it after we met Hippo before, who was quite a difficult enemy. But now that we've got Valkyrie Cat, I do believe it might be a little bit easier. So we're not very far at all into the Future, really. The start is just there. But we've now got to my home, the United Kingdom, and I guess it's a good opportunity to try out Valkyrie Cat inside a battle that's a bit more difficult than the Empire of Cats ones are at the moment. So actually what I've done is I've pieced together these cats to make a cat combo, the Cat Army. I'll be going over cat combos in a different episode because I need to revise about them because honestly I don't use them that much in Battle Cats, but they are very important. I'll get onto those in a time later on in the future. But we've been gifted at the start of this battle by what we like to call peons. The little squishy enemies, the little ones that aren't going to do that much damage. You see, even our wall cats are defeating these ones, and these, as I believe I've said many times before, are a brilliant opportunity to upgrade your worker cat. You just bring out a couple of wall cats, they don't advance and hit the base, and the peons don't advance and hit your base, and you just have this sort of happy medium where you make loads of monies. But the first, I guess, sort of major enemy is technically just a Doge, but Shibalian has appeared, the alien Doge, and what's good against that? Well, at the moment, nothing in particular, so I'm just going to use a whale cat. It doesn't really matter that much as long as we meet shield and protect it. And here is a Jackie Peng as well, so I'm going to start actually getting our forces together, and why not bring out Valkyrie Cat? As you can see, she's very tall and moves pretty quickly, and she gives a stab of her Meowner and starts destroying the enemies. Now, she hasn't actually got a hit on anything yet because these enemies are quite weak, but when we get to the base, you can see she did a sizable chunk of damage. That will increase when we actually max her out. But there you go, she's killed the base. A sort of stab damage and quite a lot of damage with it. Now, there are some other things that have changed, namely the challenge battle, which I said before had been removed. It's back, and now in the Stories of Legend menu, you complete that. Pretty easy to complete, I'd say. We could probably do it. I think we may have done it. I'm not sure. But then you get 30 cat food and energy fully recovered for that. So I'll actually be doing that in a later episode. But I thought, to give us a bit of a challenge, we'd try out our Valkyrie Cat on Monday stage. I would do one of these event ones, and I might. But these ones are very time limited. Not going to come up very often. Monday stage, every Monday. I'm going to try and make this as accessible as possible so it's as replicatable as possible. So Monday stage is Rich Cat. It's about getting rich cats. You do it, you sometimes get a rich cat. Simple as that, really. And these daily stages have so far proved too difficult for me to complete. But with Valkyrie Cat, it'll be interesting to see how well we can do. So let's press attack, and into the battle we go. Right, okay. So the first order of business is, of course, that cat combo, which is sort of annoying me that I'm not covering it, but I will get to it, don't worry. And we've sort of been gifted with some peons. However, there is a hippo who we may have to worry about, but then again, he may be weak. That's the sort of thing you can't really tell without looking it up. You'll just have to gauge it, but he's relatively slow. We can just destroy these peons while we're waiting. I'm going to use Giraffe to clear them up quite quickly, because honestly, it's not that useful at other things, so we'll just let it do its job there. And yeah, that was a very weak hippo indeed, so there's not much to worry about. In fact, Giraffe's going to run all the way to the base. Not incredibly advisable, I haven't maxed out my worker cat, but seeming as it is an easy level, I think we're going to be fine. I'm going to bring out Valkyrie Cat. Maybe she can get a hit or two on the base and finish it off for us. And that's going to be Rich Cat easy, done and dusted. But no, there is a Muth, a flying beast, which I think you've seen before. Just got to make sure to meet shield. I should have been doing it in the meantime, but Valkyrie's going to take a stab at Muth, and as you can see, it's dead now. Valkyrie does not an incredible amount of damage, but actually quite a lot compared to the cats we have at the moment. Of course, being in the high level account, I'm used to a lot more damage, but it's good where we are at the moment. Now on to normal. Now this stage has actually caused a few problems for me before, but with Valkyrie Cat again, I assume things are going to be a little bit better. Let's check. So we got our Jackie Peng at the front, so we're going to have to be a little bit more spendy on our cats than we would be if it was just the snatches. But Jackie Pengs aren't too much to worry about, so if we just have this little wall of wall cats here, Jackie Peng will go eventually, and we will be in the money. As you can see, the Jackie Pengs are sort of not causing too much trouble. We still got the meat shielding. We got Sexy Les Cat behind them, which is doing enough damage to keep them at bay. And that's the essence of it, really. We are going to get to the base without necessarily completely maxing out the monies within the level 8 worker cat, but we've got quite a lot. What I'm going to do is actually wait for the boss Shockwave and then spawn my cats, because if you spawn them right now, they get knocked behind the base by the Shockwave, and there's not really much point in that. If I spawn them after the Shockwave, they'll just continue to move forward. That's a tip that you'll probably want to carry with you to late game when you're trying to do levels quickly. For example, I might be able to show it, depends on when I record them, but if you want to see, there's a massive playlist of a level called, well, it's the Harbour Process, I can't remember what it is, but we've done speedruns of that. It's important to wait until after the Shockwave from the base boss enemy coming out to bring your cats out, otherwise you'll just lose time from them being knocked back. Not incredibly important, but just a little thing to remember. And this is taking ages, but the Muth is here, so now we're going to bring out our army, including Valkyrie Cat and loads of other stuff. In fact, the whole bottom row, we are loaded with cash, and it's just going to be important to meat shield a lot. I use the cat cannon there to get rid of a lot of peons at once. That's going to inject us with a lot more monies, and to be honest, I don't even need to worry about conserving line. We got a lot of cats. Valkyrie's taken some stabs at the Muth. As you can see, it took longer to kill because this is normal mode. It's going to have better stats, this one, but still, it was no match for our amazingly powerful cat army. And there, we got Rich Cat again. We're getting some good odds here, although it might be guaranteed the first time, actually. I'm not sure how it works, but even so, we got 2 Rich Cats out of that, and now, Rich Cat Hard. Not sure how we'll do in this one, but it will be interesting to see. A hard level may well be our limit at this point. We have got Valkyrie Cat now, but hard at this point is actually quite difficult. When you get into late game, hard is laughably easy, but not for us at the moment. We need to take this with a pinch of salt, take it carefully, and make sure we max our worker cat if we can, and have as many monies as possible and a good meat shielded army. Now, Hippo is approaching, so I will just bring out Dragon Cat to do some single shot damage, and then Giraffe Cat to clear the peons, because we don't want Dragon doing high damage shots onto things like doges. That will not be very effective at all. And we'll take the opportunity to upgrade the worker cat as well, now level 5. I'm going to lay off spamming the cats. They probably will get to the base anyway, but what I'm going to do is actually let the Muth come out, kill my cats, and then move back forward to my base. This is a technique called luring, done a lot in strategies all over the game, and it just makes it easier to fight the enemy at your base. I can only think of an Overwatch analogy, really, when, for example, you're defending and the whole team is a lot closer to your spawn room. You can all come out en masse a lot easier and defeat them more easily than going a whole long way to fight them and sort of being spread out and relatively weak. That's the sort of same idea of luring. They're near to your base, you can spam a lot of cats, they'll be there immediately, and you can do lots of damage. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and wait for my worker cat to max out, have loads of monies in it, and just wait for the Muth, if it's ever gonna come out the base. Here it is, good. I thought I was gonna have to make a jump cut, but no. So what we're gonna do is let these cats do what they do, kill the enemies, and then let the Muth come over to our base. I don't know if we're gonna have cat cannon in time, but we will make sure to, for example, use Giraffe Cat to get rid of the peons, and then we just have Muth. So we've maxed out our monies, so I might as well just start meat shielding. Muth hasn't been completely lured, so actually I'll wait a bit longer and just start bringing out the tanky and slow units, and then meat shield in front of them. We can get a Valkyrie Cat as well, and you know what, let's cat cannon these, and then we've got a straight path to the Muth. So we've done a good hit there, and we've got cats in front of Valkyrie Cat meat shielding. Now Muth has a decent-ish range, so it is probably going to hit Valkyrie Cat, but as long as we try and meat shield, that's a good thing to do, because we don't want peons hitting Valkyrie. That is something for definite. And there we go, Muth is gone. So it looks like our Valkyrie Cat is going to be a great help. We've done the hard level with relative ease, where before I really couldn't do it. I cannot express, well I can, I'm expressing it now, but it's very useful to have Valkyrie Cat at this point in the game. You'll see the further we get, the less useful it becomes, because it doesn't have that many special abilities. It's just an attack, but for now, it is very useful indeed. Make sure to use it as soon as you get it. Upgrade it all you can. And there we go, that is Rich Cat done, and that will do it for this episode. In the next one, I've actually got a plan, I've written it down, I hope you'll be impressed. In the next one, we will be looking at energy refills. So I better record some of the energy refill stages and show you how to use them as well as possible. Probably pretty self-explanatory, but it's a very important thing to remember when playing Battle Cats all the time. when you're using your energy legitly, you don't want it to run out. You want to use your energy refills wisely to get your full energy when you can. Do all those levels, do more, get loads of XP rewards, all that sort of thing. And we'll be getting into that in the next episode. So, on that note, I hope you enjoyed.